Hello and welcome to another episode in my Warhammer 40k Conquest series. In this episode we will be finally building our Primaris Apothecary, so stay tuned. So welcome back. So let's get cracking with building this. Now just before we do that, we've got to make sure we got our gear together. So we've got our plastic glue, we've got the base, we've got the clippers, the sprue, and the mold line remover if you have it. I still have, I swear I found it and then I ended up misplacing it again, as you do. So before you put it together, have a look at the rules for the guns, and if you don't know about pinning, or if you don't know about magnetizing your options, then you're gonna have to choose which one, unless you don't mind blue tacking the hand on. But you have two options. You have the Absolver pistol, which has a range 16 inches, one shot. It's the strength 5, so it's quite strong. Has a -1 AP and it does 1 damage, so not bad. The Reductor pistol, on the other hand, is a lot more close combat orientated, so it all depends on how you plan on using your apothecary. Are you going to hold him back and then have him reinforce at a distance, or are you going to just run him in with a squad to help keep them tougher? Because the Narthasian rule means that you do need to be within 3 inches of Ultramarines infantry or biker in order to have these effects. So if you go for the Reductor pistol, it's a 3-inch range, does 1 shot again. It's only strength 4, but it's -3 AP, so it does a lot more. It has a lot more killability effect, and it's 2 damage. So it's very good for taking out armor. I think I'm going to do the Reductor pistol, simply because I see him more in combat than at range, and as long as I keep him in good cover, then there shouldn't really be an issue. So with that in mind, you do also need to have a look at the build section, because you do have some options. I'm going to show you how to do a sub assembly on this, because I believe it's a lot easier to get that white down and the red painted without, getting it all over the white that you've painted. And you have this option here. It's a Narthasian on the leg. It's like a spare unit. I'm going to leave that off. I am also going to leave off these vials on the chest so I can get to the robes easily. I'm not going to glue them down onto the base. What I will do is I'll use super glue on the base so you can snap him off the base when you need to, which also means I'm not going to be putting this on the base. So if I put this on the base, it's a lot harder to glue your apothecary down onto something, and you want to be able to glue him onto a base so that you've got something that's a lot more sturdy to hold him on to paint. Looking through the additional options, I will put the arms on. I feel like I can paint around those, but for the Narthasian option, you're going to want to use this building configuration. That's the Reductor pistol. It's a cool pistol. You can keep it as a spare if you wish, and as I said before, you can always drill a hole in the wrist and the hand, put a paper clip in the wrist and glue it in, and just make sure it's the right length so that you can pop these on the end. So we also have a look at the options for the servo harness. So again, there's a lot of different options, but these do not affect the rules, so that's a bonus. I'm also going to do Barehead because he is a hero, and it's kind of like an unspoken rule where if you want your hero to stand out, you don't bother with a helmet. But as an option, I'll try and find somewhere on his belt to glue the helmet on, and that way it's got it nearby so it doesn't look like he's a complete idiot. And I did something similar with Lieutenant Calcius, but this guy's got a much busier belt going on, so we'll see how that goes. So what you want to do, start clipping. So follow the numbers, make sure you neaten it all up, and I'll come back to you when I've done that. So once you have chopped everything up and neatened it up, next thing to do is to glue stuff together. So what I've done is I've kept this helmet on this bit of sprue just so it's easier to paint, as I do want to find somewhere to stick it on. I'm also painting the head separately, just so I can get in and around the features without messing up the white paint. The Narthecium that goes on the lap, again I'm keeping separate but on a bit of sprue so I can paint around it, and of course when I'm finished I glue it on, clip that bit off, and then I could just touch up the little paint on where I separated it from the sprue, and the same for this as well. So these are the vials that go on the chest, and of course I wanted to keep that separate so I could paint the chest unhindered. So, and then of course the base I've kept separate, but I've cut it so that I could paint all around without getting my fingers on it. So with these bits set to one side, because I don't need it for the construction, let's get started with gluing. So first we're gonna stick these bits together, so remember, always dry fit before you finally glue it, just to make sure that it does stick together. So let's get gluing. So you don't want a lot, you just want a little bit. Okay, boop, 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 in your joints, try not to put too much. Just carry on as you go, step by step, and I think what we'll do is we'll speed up this process. Right now I'm using a bit of blue tack on the back here because I want to be able to put the pieces together, but then separate them to paint around the details before I finally glue them together. So I am happy to glue the arm on how it shows, because it doesn't block my ability to paint any part of this chap. This one, the one with the detail on his right side, like so. There we go. You do have the option to glue the arm on like so. I want to position it a bit more, so you see that's going to look a bit weird. And this is at a rested sort of position, and to be honest I can paint around that, it's not quite an issue at all, but to make life easier we'll have his arm out this way, so as if he's just examining and then someone's coming along, so he's pointing his weapon at them. So in order to do that I'll need to remove this piece here. So remember these nubs are just as a guide, you don't have to follow them. That's what makes them quicker and easier to build. You just carefully clip them off to glue the shoulder pad on, that way we get a better look at how we're going to do it. So I want to, yeah, sort of just straight on really. Glue this end just around, very carefully. Just gonna film into position and just hold it for just a little while, just so it sets. And just make sure I have lined it up right while it's still wet. That's the great thing about this glue, is it doesn't set straight away, but it does start to bond immediately. So you can fiddle with it a little bit and move the pieces into position a bit more without fear of it snapping. And then what I'll do is, once I finish painting the head, I'll have it facing towards the reductor, so he'll be looking at the guy. So it sort of creates a little narrative there, you know, he was examining the gene seed and then someone interrupted him, so he lifts his weapon to defend himself. Which is suitable because I'm going to have him quite up in people's faces with this weapon. With this separable, it means that I can paint this separately, I can paint him separately, and I can paint this bit separately. But in order to do what I need to do is super glue. You get a tiny bit and you put it on just a flat edge of one section of the foot, just a little bit like that. See? And then just pop it on the base, and it only take a few seconds. And what this does is it creates a platform in which to hold it so you can paint around, but at the same time you don't have to worry about it being stuck permanently on the base, because it will just snap off nice and easily. So you can glue this on and glue the bits together. Now having a look also, because I said I did want to put the helmet somewhere, could possibly have it under there. Now that I've got the arm up, it's opened up some space next to the little skull. Have it there. So I hope those hints and tips helped you to decide which loadout you wanted to give your apothecary, and also how you want to customize them. And I hope that my tips help you make some informed choices on how you want to construct it before building it. So thank you again for joining me. Please make sure you do click the subscribe button, share the video if you wish, click the little bell icon though, so you get all the notifications whenever I put up a new video, so you don't miss anything. Put a comment down below if you agree on sub-assembly, or if you like to put it all together before you paint it. And yeah, before I go, don't forget to click on that link in the description below for Big Mac Dan Skull. Every week he reviews and reads through a brand new issue, and he brings his own knowledge to the fore as well. So you'll be able to learn as much as you can from every issue. And that's all I've got time for. So thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.